Well, here we are inside the home. I came in through the side door because the key safe would not work on the front door, so they had to do this different. But this side door, you'll notice this thing is not in the best condition. And then this has been drilled out on this storm. And again, that's just an observation I've got. I'm not trying to beat it up or anything like that. We're going to try to go through very carefully on these rooms. One thing I want you to know, you see where we're standing here, the basement access is down here, and then here's the kitchen access. Now, this is a slider that doesn't slide. And once these things get off the track, they are pure hell to get. Well, this is actually moving now. I don't think I want to go any farther on it, but it moves very, very awkwardly. So let's go in here. We're in the kitchen. You can see it's a kitchen dining room type thing. And when we looked at the back of the house, you'll notice that the only access to the grill is coming out the side door, which is right here. And then your grill could go out to the side here. So there's no way to get out the back. That's just entirely brick clear across the back side of the house. And so there's our dining room. This is a laminate countertop. And we have stapled drawers. And I want to double check here. Yeah. So can you see the veneer? So these cabinets have a veneer over them, and so they may have had these cabinets refaced, is what I think probably took place. So we've got 3/4 inch shelving and that kind of thing, but to say these are new cabinets, I don't think that's a true statement. And again, we've got the veneer. They probably put new drawer faces on, and they've also got new doors and that kind of thing. So in that regard, it's kind of nice. It's not a bad look. We've got the refrigerator here. Dishwasher is not stainless steel interior. Looks like we've got some crown molding at the top there. We've got the soffit up there, and we've got a built-in microwave, and then we've got an electric stove, and that is not convection. And the microwave, that's kind of a nice feature. It actually exhausts into the attic above. So I would say that's a positive. A lot of times if you don't have that feature, then it's going to exhaust out the top here. And in this case, it's able to go straight out through the house. Now these windows, I thought they might be Window World windows. They could be, but this one was not locked. And I can tell you that there's a screen on the lower end, and then on the upper end, there is no screen. It is a double hung window, but there is no screen for the top window. And I think these are all pretty much the same. And this is the way I found the other window. Part of it was unlocked, part of it was locked, and the problem you run into is once you have these unlocked, then trying to lock them back up again is very, very difficult. So hopefully I've got that where it should be. These are genuine hardwood floors. And of course I'm a hardwood floor freak, so I like that. And there's our hallway down the way there. And we'll be checking that out in just a sec. But one thing I want you to notice here is, here's the kitchen, informal dining, and then we've got like a dinette set, where you can put your dishes and display and stuff like that. And then we have the living room here. And again, these windows are all replacement windows as far as that goes. But it bothers me that here's another one that's not locked. That one isn't locked. These appear to be locked. I do not know what kind of windows these are. I tried to check and it was very, very difficult to find out, but this is unlocked also. And then both of these windows are unlocked. Now the significance of that is that with vinyl, you have expansion and contraction. And if you don't keep these things locked in place, then they'll have a tendency to go through the expansion contraction type thing, and then they're going to be very hard to lock. So the key thing is trying to get them locked, and in a whole house inspection, I think we'd want to feel very comfortable that you could lock all these windows. Because if you can't, then we're going to have some windows that could be warped a little bit. Here's the coat closet. And so let's go back into this hallway here. And I'll turn this on. So up above here we have our crawl space access. So that's good. Now in this area here, this is a bedroom. And again, this is a slider. I'll try to get you a better vantage point this way. So here's the hallway. Bathroom is off to the left. And then we have this room right here that is actually a bedroom with a sliding door. That's what it is. And when we go back here, we've got sliders for the closet. And so I'll give you a look at that. And then, of course, we've got one window is locked, the other window is not locked. And the window treatments are gone inside here. I can't tell you what color paint this is. It kind of feels kind of pinkish, but it could be the light because we're getting towards the end of the day. And then what we're going to do here is step across this hallway into the main bath. Let's give you a look. So here's our main bath. I just absolutely love this wallpaper. In fact, you should probably hang on to it because I don't think you can buy this wallpaper anymore. But with that being said, you'll also notice that we do not have a tub in here. And at one point this did have a tub. And I think they did a nice job of whatever this material is. It's not some kind of thin fiberglass material. And they do have this. I'm just kind of looking here. I don't know what kind of height we've got on this, but I think you can go about, I think you could take this up higher. This thing right here. Because I think it slides up and down right there. So you've got this hose down here. So that's what would be involved there. That is not a form of caulking. I might be somewhat, it looks like they did it somewhat professionally. I do like the idea. It looks like we've got a fiberglass pan, which is better than a concrete pan, because then, at least on this, I know it's got a decent chance of not leaking, because if you do the concrete thing and all that, and there's a liner in there that gets punctured, you could have some leakage, and then it costs a lot to change that out. Here we have a stool. This is an updated stool. I'm not sure what the height is, but I don't think it's a real little one as far as that goes. And then on our vanity, you can see that this is probably original. I'm not so sure these cabinets may not be kind of what was out in the kitchen before they refaced everything. Just a thought. And then, of course, I'm looking at the inside of this because this is where your access would be to get back behind that shower where the stuff is. So that's what that is. And you can see where they had done some cutting back in there when they put this new shower in. And then this area Now, this trim is kind of pushed out of the way there. I don't think that's anything I'd be really super concerned about. But again, it's not laid down there properly. The doors are all opening and closing like they should. So that's not a huge concern. And I do want to test this fan. It appears to be functional. It also appears to probably, whoops, so there you go there. And this would be your heating source up here, I guess. And now here we've got the heat in the floor and cold air is up here. So maybe we've got some heat here. I don't see any heat along the base there though. So I'm uncertain where that would be, but that sure looks like that would be a heat vent right there. But that is definitely feels like cold air to me. And there's your heat source, and that would be on the exterior wall, which is typical. So now we come back into these back two bedrooms. So I'm on the same side of the house, the back side of the house. Here's a linen closet. And then this is the back bedroom. We have the unlocked windows. At least one of them's unlocked. This puppy, I have no idea except to tell you that that's the way it should be. It's not in place now, but that hasn't changed. I don't know why they have this light fixture in here like that, but it's kind of like overkill, and I don't know. I might try something different there. And then we're in what I would call the master bedroom. This is really a nice sized space in here. Great wall for a king size bed, as long as you don't have a headboard and you're covering up the natural light. And then of course you've got this wall that would have definitely accommodated a king size bed. So I think that would be a plus. We've got a ceiling fan in this space. And keep in mind, I haven't even been to the office. I've been out of town all day. I haven't pulled up what the age of the house is, but it sure feels like it could be 60s on this house. We've got sliders for this closet in the back bedroom. And we have sliders for this closet in the front bedroom, which would be the master bedroom. I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place, you guys, but I want to make sure we're seeing this pretty well. So that's what we've got upstairs here. So what I'm going to do now is head downstairs, and we'll do a quick video on that, unless I've got to talk a lot more. It looks like somebody just pulled up, wants to show it, so I may check with them first. Thanks.